Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. As you know, we have just had drop Brawl in the Battlerealm with a fighting attitude, with the Royal Rumble style. But unfortunately we've had a few kind of glitches and errors, which I'll mention in Marvel Contest of Champions news. In any case, let's jump into the boss fights and a few little tidbits of champions that I used that I found effective in this initial clear. Now the difficulty we're going to focus on for this video is indeed Uncollected. In Uncollected, in the first boss, we've got Iceman, and Kabam seems to be rolling out multiple champion uses, and like in this one we've got Domino, in another one we've got another champion, in another one another. There's one that really grinds my gears, and we'll get to that one. I'll mention what grinds my gears momentarily. It's not a big grind, but it's annoying. It just annoys me. But Iceman and Kabam seem to be rolling out regeneration. There's either things like we've got Masochism, we've got Arc Overload. Arc Overload seems to be something Kabam really want to put in this edition, which is good. If you've got certain champions that reverse healing, then that can be really helpful. In a lot of the champions that we see going against the boss fights, people are shouted out to use Archangel, Void. I had a little bit of joy with using MODOK, but people could even use Guillotine for that whole subject. It's completely up to you, but heal reversals can be quite helpful and effective in this case. So here we go. We have got Iceman, and obviously you're not going to use Archangel against against Iceman. That's just plain stupid. But you get the idea with the idea of regeneration reversal. The first Iceman obviously is here. But as I said, we've got stuff like Arc Overload, which is annoying. It's not super annoying, but it is a little bugbear that you just have to watch out for. As well, Bubble Shield. I think this is the point where intercepts are the best thing to do in order to take down this enemy. You know, after a certain point, when that bubble bursts and it becomes unblockable, oh man, it's not great. So so try and keep your intercepts as a key. And especially watch out for the L1, which is unblockable. You don't like that. I think certain champions, if you take the initial kind of swipe away, if you're terrible at evading the L1, take a step away, and champions that absorb that thing, like Captain Marvel, can be really helpful for this. But intercepts are key, and watch out for the Arc Overload. And here's the point that really grinds my gears. And again, it's not like a super grind of my gears, I just find it a little bit frustrating. So we all know how, in the way that Hyperion is built, that power gain is the name of the game with this champion, and before you know it, he's got a special attack. Wow, he's got power reserve on him. This one, we've got power gain as well. Yeah, no, it's like, it's not a big grind of gears, and even though there's like unblockable for L1, it's not a huge grind of gears. I just find it a little bit frustrating that he has all those things, especially on a champion that has some element of power gain to it. But if you avoid that, and I think I did lose a champion to that, and again, it's not a big deal, but I just found it a little bit annoying than I normally would. But there you go. And champions like Morningstar can be really effective for this. And by the way, the team that I've got in the left-hand corner is not the team I used for every single fight. It's just in there for the sake of it. Gwenpool is quite an easy opponent to go against, especially with the fact that, well, most of her specials are very avoidable. So that's positive. The other thing to watch out for is Chaos and a power gain and a power reserve, but the advantage from that is that if you had a really bad effect on you, like a degeneration, and then you boom hit up with the special, it means that is going to switch that around. So there are positives, but also there are negatives. You know, you start the fight with a very negative effect, or when the first special is done, it can be quite a negative effect for you. Do watch out for that, but at the same time, double immunity champions can be quite effective. Iceman, for example, decent champion, double immunity, and you utilize that and balance that out. See if you can do that. But it's a pretty standard champion. You don't need to worry anything about it. Again with the regeneration, so we've got again another regeneration thing, aggressive or aggression regeneration, which, you know, don't hit the champion, they're going to get regen. Simple as that. Using champions that are going to be good for this situation, there are many. You could use Void. Everyone loves a good Void on it. Yeah, using your Blade. Like, Blade has been kind of stripped out this particular event, which is good in some ways. It creates diversity in what you use, but at the same time, for those that really want to see and use Blade, it is annoying. I think there's only like 1 or 2 bosses where he could actually be used and not feel that he's been like screwed over by local nodes. So yeah, Blade fans, hey, I'm kind of now thinking like, oh, what's the point of having a Blade now? The fun's gone. But no, it creates more fun that you be able to use different champions. Yeah, can't use Archangel here. It's like a real kind of class disadvantage. You could use him. It's completely up to you if you want to use him for that. But at the same time, maybe champions that have positive interaction with buff. And that's another thing. Like a champion like Morningstar, champions like I said, Void are going to be really kind of fun and handy for this, especially spanking the enemy on having buffs. Or you could even use your regeneration reversal champions. It's totally up to you in the way that you play it. It's not a hugely difficult champion, especially if you keep him to the L1, then you're going to be easy to like avoid that one and then hit back in with some more stuff. But do, in any case, watch out for maybe like the evade pinging up. That's a little bit annoying, but I'm sure you'll do fine. Next boss up is Mr. Blade. You know, you can't use him this particular event because he gets spanked. Why don't you put him as a boss? So, okay, he's there as a boss. But annoyingly this time, he brings Biohazard to the game. And we all love Biohazard. It means we have to dust off our old double immunity champions to give the boss a good spanking. And I thoroughly recommend that. Yeah, okay, so he's a little bit annoying with Aspect of Genesis, Bane of Dam Balor, or Finn Balor, and he's got cornered as well. And the fact is you get heal blocked, but that's not the end of the world, especially if you've got a good champion in your roster. And for me, I used Iceman, loved him to bits in this whole process, especially when it comes to Biohazard. Yeah, okay, maybe that cornered didn't really help out with that, but it was more softly catchy monkey. I just didn't, number one, and I hate Biohazard. I'm terrible with it. I'm just going to make it so much easier for myself and just bring a double immunity champion. Your choice is there, how you want to play this. But I'm just going to say, if you want to make it easy yourself, use a double immunity champion, watch out for your debuffs, and keep them to an L1. At least you can avoid that quite simply. Okay, and now on to the real bugbear. The real bugbear for me, and that's Aegon. Now, when I first went up against him, man, sucked. Absolutely terrible. And to a degree, I had to reboot this probably about 2 times. The first time was like the run through, and I thought, oh, this is going to be absolutely fine. And then I quickly realised that I was playing it like an absolute donkey. And I couldn't really find the right champion for this, so I played about with several. And Archangel in the top left-hand corner seemed to be the best fit for this. Now I do have Void, and I could have used Void for this. Unfortunately, he's a 440 for me, and I would obviously love a 5-star. But at the same time, because I was looking around, I was kind of thinking to myself about the champion. I felt that the fit for me was indeed Archangel. Because we've got stuff like, we've got lots of different types of regeneration and recovery, which is so annoying. And of course we've got buffet to match. And there's loads of other things that make him a real pain in the ass. Especially a lot of his abilities, which stack up every time you fail. Or, well, in actual fact, when the combos stack, you fail. But it does feel like you do fail. If you mess up once, and then you mess up twice and 3 times, it gets worse and worse. And if you keep reviving and reviving, then you're ultimately making a huge mistake because you are going to get spanked each time. And whether or not you feel that you want to reboot the mission and then go back in again, then it's up to you. But if you've got an Archangel, if you've got a Void, or you've got champions that kind of interact well with his abilities or go against his abilities and stop the regeneration, because that is the pain in the butt, then this is going to be a lot more smoother. Archangel's neurotoxins applied some major damage, especially stopping all that regeneration that is possible from the local nodes that this champion gets. So if you're looking for a champion, that's the one, but think about your reversals, your stopping, your heal blockers, as that may be the best kind of process for this. It's also important to watch the way that Aegon moves, the way that he kind of does heavy attacks. It's hard to guess it, and that's one thing. When I did the first kind of clear, I was like, man, I'm not getting back as quickly enough, and it was really frustrating me, especially with the special attacks. They're not as easier to read as I thought they were, which is a positive to Kabam in the way they construct the champion, but at the same time, it's annoying when you kind of think that you kind of like you're better than you are, but you're not. So it's a bit of a learning curve when you first fight him. And over the top of this, I'll try and slow-mo some footage of heavy attacks and some special attacks, just to give you an idea of the way it works. And the final boss is the genie from Aladdin. Shout out to Bailey on Twitter, had a good conversation about this. But yeah, it's an odd champion in appearance. It's John Cena, really. No, it's not. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but blue, which is odd. In any case, in all seriousness, this was one of the more easier champions, especially when you get in very early and you don't allow him to build up quite so many persistent charges. And Archangel, again, was a good champion. He bleeds and he poisons, so therefore he can be a neurotoxin. And I had great fun with that. So initially hit in with a stun, applied the bleed, hit another stun, applied the bleed, kept going, hit the first special, got a neurotoxin. I think I got 2 neurotoxins or something like that. And then it was a case of them stacking that, getting the stuns. But I did make a mistake in that the great thing about it is as soon as he hits unblockable and say he's stunned, he'll just stay stunned and unblockable until the point he runs out of steam with the unblockable, and then you're able to rebuild again. But I did make a mistake and I did mess that up the first time round. But it's understanding the way that unblockable works and the fact that you're really good at getting nullified effects, and like using champions that nullify. For example, you've got Dr. Voodoo, you've got Dormammu, you've got Magic, and I used Magic as the latter, as a kind of a finishing off person. So yeah, really enjoyed that, and it was and did feel like one of the more easier fights, which is odd because it's like this is the final fight and it was like the more easier champion to go against. There's nothing huge to kind of worry yourself about with this, as long as you keep away from the unstoppable. When it comes up, then you've got to get away and let it run its course. It does come up like really odd times. There is a small tell with this, which Kabam do note in their spotlight information. So keep your eye out for that. All in all, this update and this event quest do seem quite fun. It's the Aegon one that really got it for me, but it may be something that other players find easier and other players find harder. It's just a balancing act between skill level, certain champions that you have. And like I said, I wanted to make this as easiest as possible for myself, and using Archangel was that easier champion. But you could use other champions to help yourself out with going up against Aegon, especially with the way that he interacts with a lot of his nodes that he gets. Those are the things that make him extremely annoying and frustrating. So regeneration reversals and things that punish quite well. He's not poison immune and he's not bleed immune. So bleed away and poison away, as obviously dictated with neurotoxins. But this is not the only thing this month has been a big reveal from this event quest. And now this brings us on to the end, or is it the kind of full end of the story arc for Act 5, and how this now branches into Act 6. Karina and Aeon will return in Act 6, of course, there we go. That is the point in which we have now got this all linking together. Aegon must play a huge role in Act 6, and will Karina be a playable champion or a champion in contention? We don't know, but this is an exciting drop. So thank you for watching this initial clear video. Hopefully it helped out some people. If you did enjoy the video, hit that like button and subscribe for Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been RichTheMan. I shall catch you in the next video. Bye bye for now.